Tonight, Whale is on horror.
Well, I hope not to be doing that for a few years yet anyway, but I had an interesting near-death experience then, but I'll tell you more about that another time. Now, tonight, why is it people are... What? What's going on? Stop! Why is it people are preoccupied with horror? I have no idea. What are you doing?
We're making a film for Videos Productions.
You're making a film?
We certainly are.
What sort of film is... You can't use
Horror.
a camera like that.
Of course we can.
Are you all in this film?
Absolutely, James.
Now, that's very, very strange, because tonight Whale On is about horror, so you may as well come in the studio and we'll talk about it more.
Can I bring my weapon?
Yes, bring your weapon. By all means. Bring your tuck. Please, here you go. Right. Off you go. Run over here. Okay. Don't get careful, because he's new. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I was doing the interview here. Could you come over here? Come over. You're not You're not going to sit down over there. No. I'm sorry about that, Mr. M. I'm sorry. Okay, no, I'm sorry about that. Okay, well, I've got Mr. Mansfield in one ear. What about you? Look as if you're similar to him. Come over here.
Oh, well.
What's this all about? Why do you do this?
Why? Because it's fun. It's a good hobby.
It's a hobby. You mean you run around scaring people half to death for fun?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, definitely.
I see. And where do these movies get shown?
All around the world.
All around the world?
Yes.
Yes?
We've got a cult following, we have.
A cult following?
Certainly have.
Now, I believe that you make them on the little island of Holyhead.
Well, Holyhead on the island of Anglesey, James.
Oh, I see. On Anglesey and Holyhead and round there.
That's right.
Is that because they won't let you onto the mainland, or...?
No, it's because we have an enthusiastic band of amateurs who just happen to have got together to make it work.
And so this is sort of one step on from amateur dramatics. It's sort of amateur horror... I'm so nervous I can't speak tonight. Horror movies.
Yeah, it's great fun. Just
Is it great fun?
going mad for once.
Yes? Do you get completely sort of killed in the world? What happens to you?
Oh, all sorts.
Really?
All sorts.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you?
I've been puked on.
I'm sorry about that. She didn't mean that. You've been...
I did.
Yes.
Puked on.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, literally?
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Now, we've got a clip. Can we show a bit of a clip or not? OK, we're going to have a little look at this at home and see. This is what they do for fun. Over here, look. Look. There we are. Cue.
Where is everyone, Dave?
Anyway, I think I'm sure you finished work about half an hour ago.
My God! Dave, quick! Oh, no! No, please! Quick! Key outside, quick! Jesus Christ!
Police, please. Hello, police.
Were... Now, so hang on. No, this is sick. This is sick. I mean, this is not nice stuff, is
I
it?
had a feeling you might say that, yeah.
It's not. I mean, you're the sort of well-brought-up people from North Wales. I mean, you shouldn't look at the state. What would your mother say? What would she say?
Not a lot. James.
What does she think about it?
She loves it.
Does she?
Yeah, she's been watching horror films with me
Sorry,
since
turn your
I
head
was...
round that way. Yes, OK. Now...
She's been watching horror
No,
films with
keep
me.
your head
that
round
way.
that way. Yeah,
She's been
okay.
watching horror films
Yes.
with me since I was small, so...
She wouldn't say much.
She wouldn't. What's the
No.
worst thing that's happened to you? She's been puked on. What about you?
Well, she did get her revenge at the end of that movie. She did stick me in the belly with a nice
Really?
metal detector, yes.
Now, I have to say that we showed this clip to the boss earlier. He said, you can't show that. Awful. It's terrible.
missed the
Don't
best
you,
bit.
don't you worry about... Well, they'll have to get the movie. But don't you worry about upsetting people? I mean, serious point. Don't you worry that this could upset... Let's talk to you. You could be a mum. You could be somebody's
I am a
mum.
mum.
You are a mum.
Yeah,
Would you let your children watch this?
Oh, they've seen us making the film, so they know it's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But don't you think we have enough horror on television with what's happening in the world today without sort of...
Well, there's horror, and
Playing
there's horror,
at it.
isn't there, really?
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah.
People know the difference between real horror and fantasy horror. It's quite different.
So you don't think that this would actually encourage people to go out and behave maybe like this?
No, I think you'd have to have a screw loose to begin with if you're going to be affected by something. That
But
you can't
perfectly
control.
sane to do this as a hobby.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I mean, how long... what's the name of your group, by the way? You have a...
Videos Productions.
Videos Productions. And do you make money out of it?
No, we don't. We make money for charity, though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for a local cancer relief fund.
And can anybody come along and be an actor in it, or do you have your sort of nucleus of actors?
Well, we have a nucleus of actors, yeah, the regular half a dozen people who get involved, but we've always got newcomers coming along.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what's the next production on the drawing board at the moment?
An adult thriller called Ultraviolet. More of the same.
More of the same. Yes. And has anything actually made you physically sick and said we can't put that in?
No, with nothing. We've actually considered filming sequences that we changed our minds about at the last minute.
Uh-huh. Because they were too gruesome.
Yes, or too offensive. Yeah. But, well, I think we're pushing the boundaries all the time with each movie.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed. It's been very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, the B Movie Group, who what? No time. Off. No time.
Where's my spot?
What?
My spot?
Your spot?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think we had, hold on, I don't think we had time for you tonight, Jerry. Anyway, there was so much problem with the teachers last week. Well, we'll see what we can do later. Go on, off you go for the moment. Thank you. Thank you. Lovely waistcoat, lovely waistcoat. Now, competition time. Let's see, competition winner from the programme a few weeks ago on the police, Neil Wilson from Glasgow. Well done, Neil. You're off to Ibiza. Always wanted to say Ibiza, but still, Ibiza. And this week's amazing Whale On competition for a holiday to Corfu. All right, for two of you, and you will need it, of course. After watching tonight's programme, it gets grislier and grislier and grislier, and also, of course, great music from Fast Freddie. Can I what? Oh, OK. He didn't nod last week. OK, we get more viewers if... could you go out, by the way, tomorrow, on Saturday? Every person you see tomorrow that you don't know, could you stop and tell them to tune in to Whale On next week? Because it helps in the ratings war. Would you do that? Thank you. What was I... Mike, you know, you have your own programme, and you interrupt my flow of concentration. OK, well, it is, of course, Q Whale. Right, for that holiday in Corfu, what is Zorba the Greek famous for? I thought we were trying to cut the smut out of this programme. Was Zorba famous for playing golf, dancing, or motor racing? If you know the answer, the phone lines are open now and right up until midnight on Sunday. Ring the number 08919 900 007, and you could be off on your holiday of a lifetime. OK, continuing our fantastic musical guest theme on this programme and people who play their music live on the show as well. Please welcome, I think, the best soul band in the country at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Fast Freddie's Fingertips!
There's something happening up in the
ready. Listen when I say it, 'cause you know you gotta play for me. We got rhythm and blues for cat too. Ooh, for cat too. Bless my soul, I'm gonna take you to a place you ain't never ever been. To where the beat is so complete, yeah. Like nothing you ain't never heard or seen. Tell me. What's my name? You better get ready. Well, everybody here better jump onto my scene. What's my name? You better get ready. Listen when I say it, 'cause you know you gotta play for me. We got rhythm and blues for cat too. For cat too. Tell your sister and a friend. Tell your brother now and again. Lay in bed and tell your lover too. Call your friends across the nation. Phone into your local station. We got news, yeah. We got news for you. We don't need it. News for you. News for you. We don't need it. News for you. We don't need it. News for you. We don't need it. What's my name? Ooh, you better get ready. What's my name? Ooh, you better get ready. Hey, what's my name? Ooh, you better get ready. You better get ready. Fast ready. You better get ready. You better get ready.
Okay, hang on. Right. Okay, Freddie. Where's his microphone? Never mind, we haven't got a microphone. Talking to my shirt because that's it now.
I'm used to
You've got-
talking to shirts.
You are, aren't you?
I am.
You're looking very smart as well, Freddie. May I say thank you very much indeed. And there's not enough good music around. There isn't. There's no computers anywhere here, are there? No computers, none of that stuff.
Not
Good.
At all, no.
Now, a lot of people see you around the country and they want to get in touch. They can, this address, can you see that? Can anybody see that or not? Can you no, you can't, can you? Okay. It's Freddie, it's his home address, 10
No, it
Charlton
isn't.
Road, Broadfield, Crawley, Sussex, or write to us and we'll pass any letters on.
Right, yeah, well, there's a lot of people saw us we share and they haven't known where to get hold of us.
What was it like? What was it?
It's okay, we went
I would
to
have stood
dinner,
there like
went to
this.
dinner a couple of times and I work out in her gym, you know.
Did she talk to you?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Because
seriously. Well, not seriously,
No,
but we
but she
did have a
talked to you.
chat. Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Because I was talking to Kim Wilde some years ago when she was supporting Michael Jackson. And I said, what's he like? She said, I don't know, he's never spoken to me.
No, she was okay. She was all right. I mean, she sort of came in a big limo and
Yeah.
disappeared in a big limo, but she was okay, yeah.
OK, we're going to see and hear you a little later in the show. Thank you very
Right.
much indeed for the moment.
Yo.
Quick reminder of the competition. Which camera? That one over there? I can't see so much smoke. You can't see a thing in here, can you? OK, Zorba the Greek, what was he famous for? Coming up on the screen. If you know, ring that number, 0891 900 007, and you could be going on a fantastic holiday. We're back after the break. Well, on, good evening, and if you have just joined us, you should have been here for part one because you have missed so much excitement. To come on the programme, Charlie Chuck is here, Fast Freddie is here, and we are talking about horror. And tonight, probably one of the biggest stars from the horror industry. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Doug Bradley! This is Doug here, perhaps not quite as recognisable at the moment without his other self on. Doug is Pinhead from Hellraiser 3, and you have, and I'm so glad, because bald people should be up there in the forefront, I think.
I agree.
You've become a sex symbol from these movies.
I'm told Japan is the place that's usually mentioned. And I'm told now Pinhead is #2 pin-up after Madonna.
After Madonna?
In Japan.
Yes. And have you been to Japan?
No.
No?
And I think I'm not going.
They probably think you're sushi, you see, with little sort of tins in it. It's probably like those...
Still live and wriggling.
Yes, yes, that's probably what it is. As an actor, when they offered you this part, did you jump at it? Did you say, oh, I can't do that, I'm a serious thespian? Or what did you say?
I said yes, basically. I mean, I was a fan of horror films before I ever knew I wanted to be an actor. So to get the chance to be in a horror film, to play the monster in a horror film, was tremendously exciting.
We've got a little clip, I think, from this. So before we go any further, for those people who haven't seen Hellraiser 3, let's have a little look at it. Can we get that turned on? Here we are. Now, just watch.
It's lying bleeding at your feet.
Oh, there's a little Gielgud in you there, I think.
Oh, a big one, I think.
I mean, well, yes, I see what you mean. Hellraiser 3 has bits in it, I have to tell you, that I just couldn't watch. I mean, really were revolting. Particularly with brains... Well, anyway, we won't go into it. I mean, don't you think there is perhaps too much horror? Do you think there is too much gore and... I mean, that was great, and you played the part beautifully, but, I mean, there are some bits in there which are disgusting.
Well, so there should be. You know, I mean, we're making horror films. I mean, that's what we're doing. But I don't think there's too much horror.
Do you worry about people who watch horror?
No, not at all. No.
Let me go over here to Deborah. Deborah, you are a publisher of horror and fantasy. Okay. Are we at a stage where, to get kicks, we're going to have to become more and more and more gruesome, and people are surely going to be upset by this?
Well, I think that's presupposing that all that horror is about is gore and blood and violence, and it's not. It's about thrills. It's about supernatural. It's about breakdown of things in our lives.
I agree, and I mean, I think some of the wonderful horror films, the black and white movies, are still frightening and still gripping. Without seeing somebody's brain go squirting across the set and dripping all down, I'm not being too graphic for you, all down the walls.
Horror will always be disreputable because it tackles taboos, and taboos are, in a large part of the market, they're part of the thrills. OK,
Steve Jones is sitting next to you. Steve, welcome to the show. Steve, you write about horror. And, of course, at the moment, I suppose Jurassic Park is very much on everybody's thoughts. They can't decide in this country, this is one of his books here with a dinosaur on it. They can't decide in this country, really, what sort of certificate to give it. Why?
Well, he did today.
Oh, they did today? Oh, I should have...
What
are they going to give it?
They're giving it a PG.
A PG?
I actually saw it a couple of weeks ago, and it deserves at least a PG. It's actually quite scary.
It's quite scary?
Yeah.
If there's a PG, it can't be that scary.
Well, I mean, there's also a warning going with it as well.
Be
small children.
Swear words.
No, it's actually people being eaten by dinosaurs.
Being eaten?
Yeah.
But you see the blood and the sort of squash bits?
Not really, but you don't need to know what's happening.
Are we getting too gruesome? Because what is going to happen when we're not frightened by these things anymore? I mean, for goodness sake, we're at this particular moment seeing the most awful atrocities all over the world in real life. And there's a danger, I think, of the things blending into each other.
Well, I mean, a good argument is I doubt they read many horror books in Bosnia.
They wouldn't need to, would they?
Exactly.
Not very funny. It's a nervous laugh from Deborah.
Yeah, but absolutely. I mean, the point is that, I mean, the people who do damage to people are other people. Books, films don't really do that much damage. I do think there is a danger of us pushing too far too quickly. As a chronicler of horror movies and horror books, we get inured very, very quickly to what our forefathers did. The old black and white films don't thrill in the same way that the new films have to thrill. And
well, I would disagree there, because I think some of the old horror movies with the smoke and I think they do. What about
on a nostalgia basis?
I think it's very dangerous to make a parallel between horror movies or horror fiction and real events, like what's happening in Bosnia. And we've seen recently newspapers here using an image of Hannibal Lecter to talk about the gay serial killer in London at the moment, which I thought was an outrageous thing for a newspaper to do, to make the connection between something that is imaginative and fantastic and not real and something that is all too terribly real.
Doug, for the moment, Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. I must rush over, just time is tripping on from... And quick link here from one horror to another, Gary Jacobs. Now, first, straight in, are you all right?
Yes, fine.
Not upset anybody tonight?
No.
Good, good, good. After last week, I wouldn't even be seen out in the street with you. Dear James, I wonder if you could pose this question on air to your solicitor, Chappie.
Go on.
Recently, I took my theatrical smoke machine, and listen, guys, by the way, to this, because I've been thinking about this myself. My theatrical smoke machine to be repaired at a local shop. After spending some time examining the fault, the repairers found it to be beyond recovery and claimed that it wouldn't be worth the cost of repairing it, which is why we have it here, probably. However, they have just sent me a bill for nearly £100 and the machine still is broken, so I was wondering whether or not I'm obliged to pay this bill since the job they were supposed to perform is, in fact, incomplete.
Well, you probably would have to pay
Anthony
if you employ somebody to do a repair and they discover that it cannot be repaired and they spend time doing it, then they're perfectly entitled to be compensated for their time. So I would say pay them.
Pay them?
Yes, absolutely.
Anthony Hall from Copley, Stalybridge, Cheshire. Pay them.
Pay them.
I don't like that. That's a little shadow there. That's all right, Barry. It's OK. Don't worry too much. Yes, first question.
The gentleman at the back who's... yes.
Can filmmakers be taken to court if I was going to say now. Sorry.
No, take a glass of water. So you just take it easy. Just take it easy. We'll go to another one and come back to you in a few minutes.
Yes, there's a lady here, yes.
A friend of mine recently split up with his wife, and she won't let him see his son. And he put in a contact order at the courts, but he was told that it would take months for it to come through.
Well,
Is there a quicker way for him to gain access?
It takes a while to come through, but I'm afraid to say he must go through the court procedure. The court can make an arrangement for an interim contact if the other party agrees. If they don't, it's often difficult for the court to make interim contact if the other party is giving a good reason why there shouldn't be contact. If they were to, for example, allow interim contact, it would be like prejudging the issue. So he must go to a solicitor, and I'm afraid to say they have to go through the court procedure. The gentleman there.
Yeah, I've got a friend who knows his boss is fiddling the books.
Yes.
And he challenged the boss, and he threatened to have him beaten up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so... And he's very frightened and he doesn't want to be unemployed, so what...
Well, I think he should leave the job, don't you? That's the first point.
I wouldn't want to go there.
I wouldn't want to work there, no. He should leave the job. If he has been there for a period of more than 2 years, then he could probably claim that he has actually been dismissed constructively because he's been put in fear of continuing to work. If not, he could still bring an action for something called wrongful dismissal, even though he hasn't technically been dismissed, and basically embarrass the boss into paying him some compensation. Also, if the fiddle is tax-wise, he could report it. Gentleman there.
A friend of mine has had an operation on his back through the NHS, sorry. And he's still unable to work. But since then, he has discovered that there was a more expensive operation, which could have been more effective. Can he sue the NHS for misinformation and loss of earnings?
No, you can only sue the National Health Service if they've been negligent, if they've been in breach of their duty of care. As far as funding is concerned, I'm afraid to say that's a matter for government and local, regional health authority negotiation. You could get a solicitor to make some inquiries for him, but I don't think you'd get anywhere. Can the gentleman at the back recall his question, by any chance?
Should filmmakers be taken to court to someone who's really sort of frightened to death, you know?
Someone's frightened to death? What, you mean from a horror film?
Yeah.
Well, well, I think the answer must be no in this country, but in America, you can sue for anything. So be frightened to death in America, I doubt it, I doubt it.
We'll try it and see what happens, shall we?
I've been frightening people for years.
Gary Jacobs, ladies and gentlemen. OK. Thanks for the letters, by the way. Where's the address? Somebody get the address and hold it up, thank you. Doug, were those pins painful when they were put in? Did you?
No, I hate to disappoint people, but really not.
They weren't stuck in like they...
No, they're preset in the makeup, which then just gets glued on my head.
OK, right, that's the address there to write to if you'd like a letter. We got a letter here from Cliftonville, Thanet in Kent. There's a certain MP they call Jerry, who James Whale has put on the telly, but being a Tory, he'll spin you a story and stand there trying to look trendy. Thank you very much indeed for that. And Dr. Fungus Warthog, a 23-year-old singer, songwriter and humorous poet, wrote to us from Hemel Hempstead, asked if he could get on the show. He does a thing called the Graveyard Shuffle. We should have had him on tonight, really. Thank you very much indeed. Here's one who says, it's very nice writing, isn't it, that? Do you like that writing? People don't often write nice. That's very good indeed. Here's one from Coventry. Where did that come from, by the way, nice writing? Oh, that's from Haverfordwest in David. It says, would you be able to send back my information on Even Brennan? She's a holy ghost lady from the west coast of Ireland. She was on your show some weeks ago, and having missed some of your show... Why haven't you answered? Granger, could you answer this, for goodness sake? This is the sort of thing we want. Here's one from Cardiff. It says, dear sir, a lot of Welsh on the programme tonight. Dear sir, we are a Cardiff band who are sick and tired of the so-called music scene. Can we be on your show as well? We'll see what we can do. Thank you for the letters. Keep them coming in. I hear a little giggling from somewhere over there. I think it's probably time, I'm sorry about this, talking about horror tonight, and we do warn those people who are watching the programme that some of this programme could be a little horrific. We go now to a very serious part in the programme. Like all good television shows, we too have our Agony uncle tonight, and he's back after terrific success and answering a lot of people's problems. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Charlie Chuck. Are you, all right? Hey. Good, fine. Now, first of all, got a letter from Black. I'm going to read the letters out. Charlie is going to give you forth his wisdom and knowledge. Dear Charlie, we've been married 6 months, and it's dropped from 3 times a night to once a month. Am I doing something wrong, or has he got another woman? Michael Pegg from Blackpool.
Yeah, Daddy. I don't want to sound esoteric, but if I were to apply Freudian psychoanalysis, I'd come out with the following advice. If X equals squared and 3 apples equals 2 bananas, get out and about, eat plenty of apples, enjoy yourself,
good,
and be happy.
Yes, Michael. I think it was
Tell you that.
Sorry, it was Michael, but fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, dear Charlie, I've put on a lot of weight, mainly. I've put on a lot of weight. No. It's not funny. It's very serious. Mainly due. On the telly. Due to packing and smoking and the depletion of the ozone layer. Well, it says lie, but it's like, what should I do to lose weight?
Harry.
No, Paul?
Many people have wrote in complaining about the weather. Put on a brave face, lad. England and Scotland will be mainly dry, with bright sunny spells and showers, mainly in the west.
Very, very, very good advice, Charlie.
That's over there.
Yes.
However...
Where is that?
Over there.
Ah, right, yes.
However, Donkey...
Yes. Could we just do one more if we could?
Later on in the day.
Gary Stead from Dewsbury in West Yorkshire said, recently I bought a second-hand car, but the seats are very uncomfortable, which tends to play havoc with my hemorrhoids. Can I do anything about this, or will I have to sell the car?
Buying a car is a tricky business. You can get into debt and have people knocking on the door for money.
Yes, that's bad.
Tap, tap, bleeding tappy on me door. Get away from me door. You half-baked bleeder.
Lucy, come here.
Get away from me door. I've got no money.
No, say that. Lucy, come here.
Tell
Lucy,
you that.
come quick. Okay.
Everybody's wanting me bleeding money.
Take him into the green room and sit him
Get
down.
off
Thank
me.
you very much. Ladies and gentlemen,
Telephone
Dr. Charlie
call.
Chuck. Now, once again, if you have any problems, Don't hesitate to write them in. Competition, quick reminder before the break, the competition, what is Sorba the Greek famous for? Playing golf, dancing or motor racing, 0891 900 007. The phone lines are open until midnight on Sunday, and you could have a wonderful holiday in Corfu. OK, I think we're about to take the break in a few moments. Quiet. Just before we take the break, a little surprise. Barry over here is 50 today. It's a birthday for our wonderful Barry. And Barry... There we are. OK, quiet. Go for it.
Today's a celebration, so I've been told. Is it a celebration for you?
Well, not just
and
started.
such a fine figure of a man, if I may be so bold. So good looking upon my life. Now tell me, Tiger, are you looking for a wife?
If I answered that, I should be in trouble.
Give me a growl. So here we all are. Oh, that's very good. You've done that before, haven't you? Gathered here to wish you lots of future cheer. So happy birthday is all I've got left to say, so I'll give you a great big kiss and mwah, mwah, mwah.
Oh.
Now then, I think he deserves...
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Barry. Happy birthday to you.
Have you heard what they're saying? Do you believe what they're playing? Hippin' and hopping all around the groove, yeah. Hey, Mr. DJ, give me some room. I can make 'em dance, make 'em move. That's why I wrote this song for you, Sister Soul Brother Blues. Sister Soul Brother Blues. When I'm down with my friends, there's nothing to lose. Sister Soul Brother Blues. Do you buy what they're selling? Can you understand what they're spelling? Scratching and rapping all around the groove, yeah. Just push a button, make a tune. Gotta make it hip, make it new. Gonna give it that look that's all so cool. If we don't watch out, it's gonna come true. I had to write this song for you, Sister Soul Brother Blues. Sister Soul Brother Blues. When I'm there with my friends, there's nothing to lose. Sister Soul Brother Blues. These are the days, the high-tech ways, easy ways to get your place. Do you mean it? Do you mean it? As we wander through the Micro Zoo, do you ever wonder where it's leading to? You gotta feel it, feel it. Can you feel it? Hey, have you heard what they're saying? Do you believe what they're playing? When I play with my friends, there's nothing to lose. Sister soul, brother blues.
Fast, Freddie. And the fingertips, and a little Newtown Soul. The CD is out, and they are terrific, even though there are 11 of them, and it's terrible to get them stuck in here. Great, thanks very much indeed. Now, back to horror. Where were we? Deborah, tell me, what is the most gruesome thing you have published? What do you mean after watching this show tonight you can't think?
I published a series of Guy and Smith books way back, which were about slugs and things like that.
Slugs?
I didn't actually read them myself.
And but what is the publishing company? It's Orion Million, is it?
No, it's Orion Books.
Oh, Orion Books, I see.
And my list is called Millennium.
Yeah. And do you have, I mean, when somebody comes, because there'll be people out there watching who've got horror books and want to get them published, I mean, do you look for the most gory things or not?
No, I look for thrills. I look for things that create fear. I look for the supernatural. I like supernatural horror.
Have you ever had any kind of psychoanalyzing or any sort of psychiatric help with any?
Oh, lots of it, James.
Yeah?
Yes.
Steve, do you ever, when you write a book, do you
Ever get to a situation where you think, my golly, I really can't. I mean, that's just disgusting. I'll have to redo that.
Only the quality-wise. Other than that, no.
No.
I mean,
how many ways can you disembowel somebody on the page?
Well, I mean, I think it's very important to say that basically, you know, if you can do it intelligently, you can do it with style. It doesn't matter. And that's the point. I mean, it's very easy to do very bad gore in horror fiction and horror movies, but it's much harder to make it effective and make it work as a frisson of fear.
Doug, what about you as an actor? Do you feel that, I sort of asked you this before and you kind of neatly sidestepped it, so I'll ask you again.
Shame on me.
I mean, do you feel that you do have some sort of, not response, that's not the right word. The word is, what's the word? You know, what's the word?
Responsibility.
Responsibility. Responsibility, that's right,
responsibility?
yes. Responsibility to the audience because of some of the things that people may see.
Well, yeah, but look, there are all kinds of checks and balances in place. The MPAA in America, who usually get first shout at taking offensive material out of the film, then it gets to the BBFC here. And actually, finally, the audience will always be your yardstick. If they don't like what you're giving them, they won't come see your movie.
Hellraiser 4 is, of course, in production.
It's, well, I spoke to the guy who's writing the screenplay a few nights ago, and he told me it was on page 6.
Are you excited about that?
It's happening. I'll tell you when I've read the finished screenplay. But, yeah, it will happen sooner rather than later.
OK, we've got some people in the audience. I want to come down to... Yeah? Sorry. Yeah, oh, yes, Michael. He is being so demanding, just so demanding. Yeah. Michael just wants us to look at the Slade's work again. And there's, I mean, over here, you see, what, isn't it? What?
It's a spooky house.
A spooky house. Very ripple for the spooky house. Over here, this is Frankenstein.
I wanted to paint you with no clothes on, but they wouldn't let me.
I don't mind. I don't mind. Next week. Is that similar to no clothes on? It's the last bloody time he comes on the programme, I tell you, for a start. Right, over here, this guy with the leather jacket. I'm told you're a bit of a nut as far as horror's concerned.
Thanks, Jim.
And I thought a bit of a nut, but then they said as far as horror's concerned. Is that right?
Well, all right.
Well, come on.
Yes,
you watch a lot of horror?
Yes.
Why?
Well, because I like it.
No, seriously.
No,
why?
it's cathartic, I think.
Is it? For those of us who don't have the basic of a decent education, what does cathartic mean?
Well, I think it elicits a response in you. All right, I'll start again. I don't want you to be crass about this for the rest of the programme. So.
Right, go on.
I think it's necessary to make people enjoy themselves in a world which actually isn't very nice. They can
Yeah, but don't we have enough? That's the whole thing.
No,
don't we have enough nastiness in real life without actually looking at it for fun?
But it's not real, is it? That's the problem. If you were making a film about,
but you make it as real as you can, presumably,
which was a documentary, then that would be a different thing. But if you're doing something about monsters, then it's obviously not real.
And your mate beside you here, you're another horror
A little
buff.
bit of a buff, yes.
A little bit of a buff?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything that's made you squeamish? I mean, I see loads of things in some of these films where people say, do you want to look at that? I mean, horrible.
One of the most frightening things I've ever seen in a film was in the film, I don't want to be an anorak about this, but don't look
No,
now.
you are. You're here to be anoraks,
Are
the
we?
two of you, so please, go for it.
Go on. Put my round glasses.
Go on.
Don't Look Now is a very frightening film. It's got a dwarf in it, and I'm very frightened of dwarves.
Dwarves are frightening.
They are very frightening,
Dwarves are
especially
frightening.
in
Dwarves are
corners,
frightening, yeah.
dark corners.
Yeah, because they're head height, they're
That's
sort of
right.
waist height.
That's it,
And
yeah.
sharp teeth. Go on, yeah.
Also, Robert De Niro in The King of Comedy is
King of
also
Comedy
very
is the most
frightening.
frightening film
Yeah.
ever made.
Yeah, that's also very frightening.
Yeah.
And
well, have a look
what
at
more of the frightening thing?
Well, have a look at this. I mean, where are my friends over here? Can we bring the guys in who are here? They've got a little list here. We've got Dave, Elsie, and Cliff Wallace. Right, Dave and Cliff, welcome to the programme.
Hello.
Is this good for you guys? Is it good for you? So, okay, now, this is... you make horror stuff. None of this looks particularly frightening, actually.
No, well, it's the films that are frightening.
Oh, it's the films that are frightening. I mean, do they... Is this Star Wars or what?
No, this is all from a film that Cliff wrote, which is in development.
Oh, it hasn't been done yet, so we have a bit of a problem.
Well, that's right. You've got a bit of a
bit
of a scoop here. Obviously, we can't show you stuff that's from movies that have actually been made.
I mean,
It's all
Doug's over
copyright.
here, and his agent is watching.
Yeah.
Is there sort of
Phone number.
Yeah, good. Is there? What's it? These look fairly. I mean, this looked like that other thing out of Star Wars. Chewbacca, wasn't it?
Chewbacca, that's right, yeah. Well, this is a Yeti, which is also from another project, which is different to this one, which is we're also working on, which we also can't talk about, but we can show you this.
Oh, this is great. So now we've got guests again that can't talk about anything. Yes, OK. So, what... Come here, you. Come over here, the one who thought was a little crass. I mean, come on, you know all about horror. What these guys make it. Is there anything you'd like to see in here or not? I mean, some sort of more horrific, less horrific?
I think they're very good.
You want to see some blood?
Yeah?
No, I don't know.
Blood. Can we...
I'm with you, James. I'm all for black and white horror films.
You like black and white horror film? You do. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. I mean, Mark. Could you? Is it all right if Mark put this on? just to see, because we know there's no blood and gore here. I did ask for blood and gore, but the boss said no. Now,
it's Gary Jacobs.
It looks like. Oh yes. Well, only if it's not true is it liable, Gary. Did you want to go and sit down for a moment? Can you find your chair over there with the head on? No, keep the head on. And see, I mean, try and act horrible over there. Sort of. Oh, no, if you lean forward, it looks good. It's sort of hunchback horror. Yeah. Is it hot? Yeah. I don't think they get these on, would they?
Well, these are...
Yeah.
There'd usually be a zipper here, but these are just for show, really.
I see.
Yeah.
And what other sort of things have you made? I mean,
we worked on Hellraiser. We worked on Indiana Jones. We worked on horror films. We worked on The Witches. All three Hellraiser films, really.
Yeah.
What else? Waxwork.
Things of Waxworks, The Unholy. Lots of films that do have blood and guts in, but it's the blood and guts is just the small.
You don't feel responsible either, do you?
No,
you don't feel responsible.
It's not that. We have a responsibility to make the blood and guts look fairly realistic, but in an artistic way. If you look at books of autopsy scenes,
books of autopsy scenes.
Yeah, which is things we have to do. We have to do.
Yeah.
But in order to see what looks real and what doesn't. Now, a lot of things that you see in autopsy books actually don't look real. They're not what the audience would perceive of as being real. So what we have to do is try and make an artistic reality, a sort of hyper-reality.
Show me some of these. You've got some pretty horrific things in here. Let's have a look at this. I thought, were we going to have a demonstration of something horrible at some point in here or not?
This is a chap who's had it.
Oh, let's have a... Can we get a good... Yes, that really is disgusting. Yeah, and I mean, it looks like a real person.
Yeah, well, it is a real person, and the trick is to build the thing out so that you get the depth in there.
Yeah.
Of course, makeups you can only add to people. You can't take away. I mean, we can't actually dig holes.
Are we all right with this copyright-wise?
Yeah,
we are. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, go on.
This is.
No, that's no good. That's not horrible.
Well, it's not horrible, but this is again work that we have to do.
Michael, Michael is. No, he's shouting at me. He's feeling very sick.
All right.
Oh, really? Can you reverse that process?
Is things we do. Well, within reason.
Yeah. Can we have a little look at the? I mean, you know, but that is disgusting. Can we have a look at this here? Can you get a shot of that, Mike? I mean, I know there's no blood in this, Mike. You're okay. It's just, you know, before and after diets. and you might be interested. You see?
That's actually me, as you can see.
That's you, isn't it? Yes, yes. And this is when you took your skin off and you shed it down here. That's very nice. That's very, very nice indeed. Is there anything really... Oh, there are, yes. Oh, well, that's quite interesting in there. Let's have a look at that. I mean, for goodness sake, we've got to look at some of this. I mean, that... I don't know, I think copyright's okay. He's worried about... There's their own stuff. Look, this is their own... Can we get in here? I mean, there we are. This is just interesting. I mean, look, there's no... No, Gary, I'm not saying anything. But this definitely up here, there's a look. If you cut over to can you cut over to Jacobs over there? There's a, you know, look what. No, you can't. There we are. Look, you see there is a similar. Oh no, and we found Jerry Hayes here. If we come back over here, just one last one, Jerry Hayes. Is that look like? Does that look like Jerry? I think. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, give the guys a round of applause. That's brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Nearly at the end of the show. It's been. I've really enjoyed meeting you, Pinhead. It has had a really fun. Nobody's been too frightened, but there have to be some sort of controls, don't there?
I'm worried at the moment, actually.
Yes.
I think you're lowering the content finally.
What? Spot? What spot?
My spot. It's gone.
Haven't we done your spot?
No.
We didn't.
It's finished.
We did his spot, didn't we? Yeah. Oh, all right. Just a moment. Okay, one word over here. MPs want to be taken seriously, don't they? Okay, sit over here on the horror. Right. Okay. You want me to talk to you about? We haven't done. You sure we didn't do it? We didn't do it. Okay. How much does a loaf of bread cost?
It depends how
You
big.
should know.
That is absolutely
I'm amazed that MPs don't know the cost of food in the shops, aren't you? Have a lovely weekend. Don't watch anything too spooky. Next week, I want to know tea and coffee, bread and everything else, all right? We'll go down the shops now. There's an all-night supermarket outside. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, have a nice weekend. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.